Good evening. Welcome to NTD Tonight. I'm David Zhang. Here is a preview of some of today's top stories. Arizona's border faces a new crisis. One lightly patrolled area is seeing an increase in illegal immigrants being smuggled in the U.S. Big Bang Theory actress Kate Micucci revealed a surprise lung cancer diagnosis. She explained on social media why she was shocked to find out. A dental company shuts down after filing for bankruptcy. One customer says the closure has left her with unfinished dental work. Arizona's border faces a new crisis as illegal immigrants settle in a remote location. Officials say it's problematic because there are not as many Border Patrol officers assigned there.
A shift in smuggling routes has brought an influx of migrants to Arizona's southern border from countries as diverse as Senegal, Bangladesh, and China. With hundreds of illegal immigrants crossing daily in the area, the U.S. government indefinitely shut down the nearby international crossing between Lukeville, Arizona, and Sonoita, Mexico. This aimed to free Customs and Border Protection officers assigned to that port of entry to help with transportation and other support. The Lukeville area has gained popularity as a place to cross the border from Mexico into the U.S. in recent months. Because of its remote location and U.S. Border Patrol staffing is light, traffickers in the region, controlled by Mexico's Sinaloa cartel, steer people there.
For some reason, the cartels have decided that this is the place to cross people over. We're not sure that we're happy with that designation, but this is where they're doing it. We're seeing more people than anyone else along the southern border.
Abbott said at one point they had 800 to 1,000 people right in one spot. He said his greatest wish is to keep them alive as temperatures dip into the 40s. The closest hospitals and nonprofit migrant shelters are nearly 2 hours away. Heading into next year's presidential elections, the border is a top issue for voters, especially Republicans. Immigration issues could be a liability for President Joe Biden as he runs for re-election. Extra funding for border security has become a partisan issue in Congress as lawmakers debate over its inclusion in a package to provide additional aid to Israel and Ukraine in their wars against Hamas and Russia.
Now let's take a look at other national headlines. The Supreme Court would take up a January 6 defendants' appeal. The case centers around the Department of Justice charges of obstructing an official proceeding. The felony carries a prison sentence of up to 20 years. The DOJ has used the law to prosecute hundreds of defendants and former President Donald Trump for obstruction of Congress. Now the High Court has agreed to hear the petition of Joseph Wayne Fisher and 3 other defendants. According to Marina Metvin, a defense attorney, the ruling could be life-altering if the case turns in favor of the defendants. Today, members of the House voted to formalize an impeachment inquiry into President Biden. The vote was mostly along party lines with just a slim Republican majority. House Speaker Mike Johnson says the White House has been stonewalling their investigation into the Biden family. And that's why he says House Republicans need a formal impeachment inquiry to better enforce their subpoenas in court. Before the vote, Johnson called it, quote, the next necessary step. He acknowledged that there are a lot of people who are frustrated that this hasn't moved faster. Today's vote will mostly ensure that the impeachment investigation extends well into 2024. When Biden will be running for re-election and seems likely to be squaring off against the former President Donald Trump. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said he and members of the Israeli War Cabinet are set to hold talks with the U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan on Thursday in Tel Aviv. The White House said that they plan to discuss aid and the latest developments in Israel and Gaza. Sullivan is also scheduled to stop in Saudi Arabia for talks. U.S. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller told reporters they do not want to drag the war longer than it's necessary, but added that continuing Israel's military campaign is the long-term security interests of anyone in the region. Tesla is recalling nearly 2 million cars to limit the use of its autopilot feature. This comes after a review of nearly 1,000 crashes in which the feature was engaged. The National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration says the company agreed to an over-the-air software update, as well as mailing letters to owners notifying them of the change. The update would limit the auto steer feature if a driver repeatedly fails to demonstrate they are ready to resume control of the car while the feature is on. In a recent Washington Post, the investigation auto assist was used when it should not have been, in at least 8 serious accidents, including some fatalities. Despite never smoked, Big Bang Theory actress Kate Micucci said she was diagnosed with lung cancer. She posted a video on social media after undergoing surgery. NTD's Jason Blair has more.
Actress, comedian, and musician Kate Micucci posted on social media saying she is recovering from lung cancer surgery.
It's pretty weird because I've never smoked a cigarette in my life.
She said they caught it really early and the cancer has been removed.
It's been a little bit of a trip, and we'll probably be moving slow for a few weeks, but then I'll be back at it.
Micucci is best known for her role in Big Bang Theory. She is also half of the comedy folk music duo Garfunkel and Oates. According to the CDC, about 10 to 20% of lung cancer patients each year are people who have never smoked or have smoked less than 100 cigarettes in their life. After tobacco smoke, radon exposure is estimated to be the second highest contributor to lung cancer cases. The American Cancer Society advises annual screenings for people between 50 and 80 years old who smoke or have a history of smoking. Jason Blair, NTD News.
A recall has been issued for sun-dried tomatoes due to undisclosed sulfites. NTD's Christina Corona has more on the update.
Global Veg Corp is issuing a recall for all batches and codes of its 5-pound packages of Aviator brand sun-dried tomato halves, specifically lot number 060923/1, due to the potential presence of undeclared sulfites. Individuals with a severe sensitivity to sulfites face the risk of serious or life-threatening reactions if they consume this product. The recalled Aviator sun-dried tomato halves were distributed nationwide and are packaged in 5-pound vacuum bags. As of now, there have been no reported illnesses or adverse reactions associated with the consumption of this product. Routine sampling by New York State food inspectors led to a recall after lab analysis found undisclosed sulfites in distributed packages. Consumers who have purchased 5-pound bags of Aviator brand sun-dried tomato halves, lot number 060923/1, are strongly advised to return the product to the place of purchase for a complete refund. Christina Corona, NTD News.
A teeth straightening company suddenly shuts down, leaving customers stranded mid-treatment. Now they're concerned about ongoing plans and support. NTD's Stephanie Sikal tells us more.
SmileDirectClub, a company offering clear plastic teeth aligners, has suddenly closed. It now leaves customers stranded while urging them to seek their local dentist to continue any unfinished treatments. SmileDirectClub filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in September but failed to find a new buyer. The subsequent shutdown has left customers without new aligners, customer support, and canceled orders.
I haven't even tried to call them, but I went on the website and it had, their little message to the world that they are currently no longer in business, and they had like an FAQ section basically stating if you ordered something, you're probably not going to get it, or, if you need to order something, you're probably not going to get it. So I guess there is no answer.
Ruby Bowie has been a longtime customer and was anticipating to follow up with another retainer order to continue her treatment. She says she hasn't had any issues with the company until now.
It's just kind of dead. It's gone. So I guess really if there's any other similar company that's willing to do retainers, I'm all for it.
The company has served over 2 million people since 2014, but customers now face uncertainties about their unfinished treatments. SmileDirectClub once promised to revolutionize the oral care industry by selling clear dental aligners. But last year, the District of Columbia Attorney General's office sued the company and accused them of unlawfully using non-disclosure agreements to manipulate online reviews. Stephanie Sikal, NTD News.
We'll take a short break now, everybody, but here's a look at what we have for you when we come back. In-N-Out Burger opens its first restaurant in Idaho. Customers share what it was like on opening day. Hawaii locals are leaving the state. New data shows a slowdown in population growth and economics. A new addition to the Los Angeles Zoo will meet the new playful baby Ocelot that's sure to captivate visitors. Those stories and more coming up on NTD Tonight. Welcome back to NTD Tonight. I'm your host, David Zhang. A new milestone for In-N-Out Burger as it opened its first restaurant in Idaho on its 75th anniversary. People waited as long as 20 hours to get in. NTD's Eileen Ang has more.
In-N-Out Burger opened its 400th restaurant in Meridian, Idaho on Tuesday. Locals have been anticipating the fast food chain, and when it opened, long lines formed. John Soul said he waited 21 hours in his car on the property for the grand opening. It was 37 degrees outside.
Some people thought we were crazy. Why would you do that for a hamburger and stuff? But it's just that, the opening of this store was a big deal for us to begin with. And then for it to be timed so that it was the 400th store of In-N-Out to have opened, then it kind of made it a double big deal. And years from now, we'll be talking about that, In-N-Out, maybe they'll have 10 stores in Idaho by then. And you say, we were there the first day that they were open in our state. And
Soul used to live in Orange County, California, where he would make a 30-mile trip to a local In-N-Out in Los Angeles.
One of the things that I think attracts maybe the company even is that there's a lot of Californians that have moved to Idaho and that they've been clamoring for years to ask the company to set up shop up here.
In-N-Out CEO Lindsay Snyder was present at the opening. She signed Soul's copy of her book. Serena Hollinshead, who also moved to Idaho from California, walked in with her husband and waited about an hour and a half to order and another hour to get her food.
Everybody was so excited, and all the employees just so kind and so helpful and just excited to be there. So the inside of the store looks amazing. Of course, everything's very clean and will stay that way because that's the only way I've known In-N-Out to be.
They say the taste hasn't changed and is just like they remembered.
One of the things that sets them apart is that all of their meat is fresh. Just about every other fast food burger place uses frozen hamburger. In-N-Out cuts its own meat, so they're making their own hamburger patties.
Just them basically even cutting the fries right there in front of you. So you see the product and the care that they take in for their consumers. So
there was also a merchandise truck that sold t-shirts, sweaters, mugs, stickers, and more. In-N-Out restaurants are located in 8 states.
Hawaiians are fleeing the islands to go to other states. Officials say this comes as economic growth remains low. Here's more from NTD's David Lamb.
The islands of Hawaii are a paradise getaway, but on Monday, the state of Hawaii said it's still recovering from the Maui wildfires in August that devastated its island. The following 2 months after the fire, visitor arrivals by air to Maui County decreased by over 50% compared to last year. In addition, the state is dealing with people leaving. Hawaii Governor Josh Green previously stated high cost of living is one of the reasons for people's departure, with cost being twice the country's national average.
This housing crisis forced too many of our people out of our state in search of economic opportunity or, more importantly, affordable homes.
For the 7th year in a row, Hawaii's estimated population of 1.440 million steadily decreased. According to census data between July 2021 to 2022, Hawaii's population dropped by 19 people a day, with a total population decline of about 0.5%. On average, 26 more people moved out of Hawaii than moved in per day. Data shows that over 60,000 people left Hawaii between 2021 and 22, and over 50,000 moved to the islands from other states. California received the most Hawaiians, nearly 11,000. And on the flip side, nearly the same amount of Californians moved to Hawaii. Other top spots for Hawaiians were Washington and Texas. Shortage of labor remains a challenge for Hawaii's economy, which relies on tourism, but the state is expecting visitor arrivals to increase to more than 10 million in 2025. David Lamb, NTD News, California.
Now for some sports, NTD's Tyler Castillo has the latest on 2 teams that are planning to move to Virginia. Also, the San Francisco Giants signed a new player.
The owner of the Washington Wizards and the Washington Capitals, Ted Leonsis, announced his plan to move the teams to Alexandria, which is located in Northern Virginia. Reports say that the Virginia legislature is working on a plan to provide a new arena for the teams, a new practice facility, and other surrounding businesses such as hotels and shopping centers. Both teams have played at the Capital One Arena since 1997, and if this proposal gets approved, it will expect to break ground in 2025. And have the teams officially start playing in Virginia by 2028. The San Francisco Giants have signed Jung Lee to a 6-year, $113 million deal, the highest deal offered to a Korean free agent. Lee won KBO Rookie of the Year in 2017, and then he won the league MVP in 2022. Lee has dealt with the season-ending ankle injury during the last half of the season, but is expected to make a full recovery by spring training for the new season.
Let's meet a young woman who lives in a medieval mansion. The castle showcases rich Italian history and has been passed down in her family for 28 generations.
Ludovica Sanazaro lives in a 12th century Italian castle. Her parents inherited Castello Sanazaro, a 32,000 square foot castle with 45 rooms. It was built by 4 knights of the Sanazaro family in 1163 after they earned war merits from Holy Roman Emperor Frederick I. The castle underwent some repairs and renovations in the 1800s when one of the towers fell. But much of its rich history has been preserved through its interior, such as the furniture and paintings. As for Miss Sanazaro, she spent most of her childhood growing up in the castle and enjoyed inviting friends over. She told the Epic Times, "We spent a lot of days just creating stories and pretending to be someone else, like princes and princesses, knights and soldiers." She graduated college in New York in June 2023 as a musical theater major. She now shares snippets of castle life on social media while dressed in extravagant gowns based on historical designs. The dozens of rooms, the ballroom, music room, church, stables, dungeons, and a huge garden offer many places to explore. But she says living in a castle can be far from what you might expect. The castle is also filled with technical difficulties, poor heating, and wonky Wi-Fi. She adds, inheriting a castle doesn't mean you're inheriting money, unfortunately. A lot of people think that we still have maids and butlers that do the work for us, but we do the work. We just have one person. The castle also hosts overnight guests, parties, and tours. Miss Sanazaro says she hopes to share its beauty with others.
The Los Angeles Zoo proudly welcomed a spirited new member to its family, the Ocelot Kitten, whose playful antics are sure to captivate visitors. NTD's Christina Corona has the inside scoop on the adorable new kitten.
The LA Zoo revealed Monday that Maya, the kitten's mother, gave birth to an unnamed kitten on September 12th. The male Ocelot kitten weighed only 19 ounces at birth and has been living behind the scenes until he receives full vaccinations. The kitten's progress is being closely monitored by keepers, who note that he has already achieved several developmental milestones and weighs 6.5 pounds. Animal keeper Stephanie Zielinski said, his eyes opened after 9 days and his teeth began to erupt after 20 days. At first, he was toddling around on unsteady legs, but he's become stronger and more agile every day. He has a big personality now, and he's brave and curious. Ocelots, larger than typical household cats, but smaller than bobcats, are primarily solitary creatures often found resting in trees or brush during the day. The zoo anticipates that visitors will have the opportunity to observe Maya and her kitten in their habitat in the upcoming days. Christina Corona, NTD News, Los Angeles.
That's all I've got for you tonight. We would like you to join us again on NTD Tonight every weekday at 9 p.m. I'm David Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.